right? So what are cloud pages? So they are standalone web pages, very similar to the pages which are built on the .com site. The only difference being they're hosted and published in Marketing Cloud. They're not hosted and published on the .com server, the client server, that is. The advantage of that is since they are hosted and published in Marketing Cloud itself, they're faster to build. They need less amount of approvals. Normally, there are two reasons to use cloud pages. One is you have a campaign, and obviously you can't have all the material in the email itself. So you'll have a little bit on the email, and then you can create a CTA. When the person clicks on the CTA, it takes them to a cloud page, which has more information. So that is one way of doing it. The second one is you could create a cloud page to get additional information from the person. So an example of that could be maybe a survey page where you're taking some information which can be stored back into a data extension. And then, with that data, you can do other things like launch campaigns and things like that. So that's another reason why a cloud page can be used. Let me show you. It's quite easy to build out a cloud page. And the best part is whatever AMP scripting you have learned so far, all of them work on cloud pages as well. So your lookup, rows, conditions, for next loops, everything, variable declaration, everything works on cloud pages in the same way. Building cloud pages is also like building an email. So even that is quite easy. So to build cloud pages, you go to Web Studio, go to Cloud Pages. Now, Cloud Pages, the folders of Cloud Page, it's called collections. Now, if you see over here, there is just one collection on my name. It has it has this thing inside, which basically means that there are some pages inside. If you go into the collection, so these are some cloud pages which I have built myself. What I would recommend is when you guys want to practice cloud pages, first build a collection. Right. So if you see this option over here, which says create collection, so you can create a collection with your name. Just click on it, type a name. Save it. Now, if you notice, this is a new collection which I just built. There is no thumbnail as compared to the earlier one. There is a thumbnail here, but here there is no thumbnail simply because this collection is empty. I can go inside it. If you notice, this is empty. Let's try and build our first cloud page. So if you see add content, click here. There are multiple options over here. For us, we're going to be doing landing page. It needs a name. We're going to call it this. You can give a description. Now, it again gives you some available sectional templates. If you notice, this is a blank one, this is a 3-row. So it gives you some options. So you can start with whichever one you would like, or you can start with the blank one. Okay. Now, if you look at this, very much similar to what we were doing in emails, you have your content blocks over here. You have your layouts, again, quite similar to emails, right? Design basically it's the basic global settings of the page, right? So you can have a background color, content background color, borders, padding, page width settings. So all that is available under design. Again, building, as I mentioned, it's quite simple. So let's say I'll take image. I can select an image. Again, similar to how we do it in emails. I think I'll take this one. Somebody has uploaded, Mohini has uploaded this. I'll take that. Big image. So, okay, I took that. I can add some text. I'm adding some text. I can make it big. I can make it small. Change the color. Center align. I can do all that. I can add a button if I want people to click on it and go somewhere else. So I can do all that. The chief difference between email and cloud page is that you cannot connect a data extension to a cloud page, right? And email has a sendable data extension connected to it. For a cloud page, there's no option to actually connect a data extension behind it. So that's the principal difference between the two. The second difference is email, it saves on its own, so you can save it and it works. Cloud page also you can save it, but if you want this cloud page to be visible from anywhere in the world, you have to publish it. Only when you publish it can this page be made visible on any device or on anywhere, right? So for example, if I finish working on my cloud page, I save it. And then I publish it. We have two options. You can immediately or else you can schedule a publish. In case the page is not supposed to be made live immediately, you can figure out when that needs to be made live, and then you can schedule it. Right now I'm going to publish it. Now it's published. Now this is the URL of the page. If I just copy the URL, I put it anywhere in any browser. So this is my page. This is how the cloud page works. Now, a couple of important things with regards to cloud pages. Now, if you notice, my other tabs are open, and if you notice, right, there are things on top which make sense, right? This is called landing page. This is cloud page, bridge 24, my tasks. Whereas the one which we made has just the URL, right? So a good programming practice is giving a proper name to your page so that it's visible if there are multiple tabs. Not only programming, but it is good practice for SEO. So all those who know about search engine optimization and stuff like that, it's always good to name your page. So in order to do something like that, you need to get out of this, come back here. You'll see three options here. This is to make copies, make a clone or make copies. These are settings for the page. And then this is an option to delete the page. So if I go to settings, you will see the URL again. You'll see a page ID. This is a page ID which is generated by Marketing Cloud. So you'll see that. Some most things about the page, when it was created, when it was published. You can go to activity. Now, once it is connected to an email and people are coming to this page, then you can even get to see activity, who's accessing the page and things like that. You'll get to see that over here, numbers. What I'm interested in is here, advanced settings. If you come here, there's the page name, there's a description. Now under SEO, you can actually type a proper name. You can put the relevant keywords. Again, those people who are experienced with web operations, you guys will understand that if you put relevant keywords, it actually helps in for people to search this page easier. And even when Google gives out uh, the search results, if the relevant keywords are there, then your page will appear higher as compared to other pages. So that is all a part of search engine optimization, SEO. So yeah, I've just given the title right now. I have saved again. Uh, One thing important on Cloudpages is that whenever you make any changes, you have to again publish. So let's go ahead and publish this page again. Come back here. I publish it. Okay, now let's see how it looks again. Now, if you see, we actually have a name in the tab. So this is one advice I would like to give you. So whenever you're making Cloudpages, try to ensure that you give a proper name so that it's visible, right? If you have multiple tabs, if the customer has multiple tabs open, then he can quickly identify what these tabs are. Now this is Cloudpage. What's important are two things. This number 114. This is an important number. We'll be using it shortly. How do I call the cloud page from an email? So let's see that. So let's just open one of our emails. We have multiple options of calling the cloud page. You already have the URL. So you can obviously, put the URL and call the cloud page, just like you normally call other URLs. So that's one way of doing it. Marketing Cloud also has an option which says cloud page. So if you select the cloud page, it will give you a list of all the cloud pages which are there in the system, and then you can select the relevant cloud page. So that's another way of doing it. Once my email opens, I will show you how to do that. But these are two options to call cloud pages. The first option is using normal HTML. The second option is using AMP scripts. You don't have to type any AMP scripts. Marketing Cloud will automatically do it for you, provided my email opens. Let's go here. It's faster from here. Okay, so let's just pick up one of our old ones. Let's just take this for now. What we'll do is we just put this button here, right? Now this is button text. I can come here and I can put the cloud page URL directly over here, and it will call the cloud page. If you want to look at the code, how it does it, you will see the code directly here. href, this is the code which is calling the cloud page. So if I save this and I run it, if I click on this, it's going to open the cloud page. So that's one way of doing it. The second way, as I mentioned, now if you see this link to HTTPS, right? If you click on this, there are other options here. So if you see there's cloud pages landing page, which is what we made just now. There are other options as well, but let's use this. Now, when you click on that, it will give you a list of all the cloud pages which are in the system. So, you know, right now only I have made some cloud pages, so you can see only the ones I have made. This is the one we just made, training underscore page one. So I can select that. If you want to see how the code changes, if you see this, can you see this? Sorry, here. Now this is AMP script. Percentage equal to cloud pages URL, open brackets. Remember I showed you the number 114. 114 was the page ID. So that's the page ID which it has populated because of my selection. So like I mentioned, you don't need to write AMP script. Marketing Cloud will automatically put the AMP script. You'll ask me what is the advantage of using this over the previous one where I'm putting the URL. Honestly speaking, uh, for this, what we have done right now, they're both one and the same. It's not that it will load faster, load slower, nothing like that. Both options right now are one and the same. They will both open the same cloud page. There is an advantage later on, which I will show you. Now, if I click here, it is going to open the same cloud page. So as I mentioned, both the methods will do the same thing. Any questions on basics of cloud pages? Any confusion? Because what we're going to do next is we're going to do some AMP scripting on cloud pages. Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. Just one moment. Okay, now this is a very simple exercise which we did where I'm just creating a cloud page, and then in the email there's a button. You click on the button and it opens the cloud page. A very simple example. But the actual power of cloud page comes with the fact that using AMP scripts you can do manipulations, right? You can do hide and show in cloud pages as well, right? If you're looking at personalization, then maybe for certain customers, you want to show one content on the cloud page. For another set of customers, you want to show a different content. You don't have to make multiple cloud pages. Again, it's like the same hide and show which I showed you using AMP scripting in emails. It's the same thing. You create the cloud page, and using if then condition logic, you can actually hide blocks and show blocks. So you can do the same thing. But I also mentioned there's no data extension connected to the cloud page. So the question now arises is how do I do hide and show if I don't have any variables? That's where the concept of parameter passing comes. So now what I'm going to show you is passing parameters from the email to a cloud page. Now, what do you mean by parameter passing, right? So now this email, for example, has come to me, right? These are the attributes which are connected to this email. When I say parameter passing, I would be passing one or more of these attributes from this email to the cloud page once I click on the button. So a simple example of parameter passing is I might pass the employee code or I might pass the email address directly to the cloud page. So once that parameter comes on the cloud page, then I can manipulate that to do anything I want. I can do hide and show. I can write back to a data extension. I can do some calculations if required. I can do lookup. I can do lookup rows. I can do any of those functions. And all this will work only if the person like me, if I've received this email and I click on the button. Once I click on the button, it opens the cloud page. It will pass the relevant parameters once the person clicks on the button. So how do you do that? So let's say what I'm going to do is when I click on the button, when the cloud page opens, I want to show, let's say the person's vertical, whether he's an ex-employee or no, age and salary. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 things is what I want to show on the cloud page. So there are 2 ways to do this. One is I will pass all these 4 as parameters to the cloud page. And once I open the cloud page, I will display these 4 items on the cloud page. That's one way of doing it. Second way of doing it is a little longer. I will only pass the email address or the employee code, whatever, one of them. Once it opens the cloud page, I will use a lookup function to get the vertical, whether ex-employee or no, age and salary. When I use the lookup function, I will reference the same data extension. And then you guys have done lookup, right? So I will use the reference of the employee code or email address, and I will get all these values. Now, a smarter, faster way obviously is passing all these 4 instead of writing a lengthy lookup code in the cloud page. But I'm just telling you, you can even do that. So let's see how to pass these 4 as parameters. Now, like I mentioned, all these 4 will get passed when I click the button. So in order to pass these 4 as parameters, the first and foremost thing is I need to save the values of all these 4 in a variable. So let me just open the data extension as well. Oh, great. I think I got locked out. Excellent. Okay, so I believe I'm using this. Okay, so my parameters are, I mean, my variables would be for vertical, ex-employee, age, and salary. These 4. Now, I think I already have some variables in place. So I have to log in again. Okay, having some slight problems with Marketing Cloud. Just give me a second, guys. I'll just try to figure out what's wrong with Marketing Cloud. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, seems to be working. Okay, so we're back. So like I said, we need 4 variables for vertical ex-employee, age, and salary. Let's see what we already have. We have ex-employee is there, age is there, salary is there, vertical is not there. So maybe I'll add a variable for that. BERT. Okay, so I got my 4 variables. Now, how do I pass all 4 of them when the person clicks the button? So we're going to do some parameter passing. Now, I mentioned earlier, there are 2 ways. One is either I can use HTTPS and put the URL of the page, or the second was using Cloudpage landing page this way. Now, if I do the first method, then parameter passing gets a little tougher. So I would recommend, if you ever want to do parameter passing, don't use the first method of putting the URL. Instead, it's an easier way to do it using Cloudpages landing page. How do we do that? I showed you the code. This is the code, right? Percentage equal to Cloudpages URL, then the page ID, which is 114 for this one, equal to percentage. This is AMP script. I'm going to manipulate this one to include parameters as well. So that's the advantage of using the already available functionality of passing the Cloudpages using the page ID. Right? A small change in the code. So it's percentage equal to, I'm going to say redirect to. Now that's a function. So redirect to, open your brackets, and then I can continue with the same Cloudpage URL, Cloudpages URL, open the bracket, page ID. Now I'm going to add all the parameters which I want to pass. So comma. Now the first parameter I want to pass, and order is not important. You can pass whichever order you want. The first parameter I want to pass is the vertical. So in single quotes. Now whatever you type here will be the name of the parameter which is getting passed when it comes to the cloud page. So you can actually type anything you want, right? So I'm going to say, trying to make it meaningful. So I'm saying PARAM, param, so parameter, vertical, VERT, parameter, PARAM, VERT, comma. Now I need to pass the value. Remember, the value is stored in a variable. I kept it in a variable because for each customer of the sending data extension, this value will keep changing. That's why I need to have it in a variable. If the value is not changing, if it's going to be fixed due to whatever reason, then you need not put a variable, just put in single quotes the actual value which you want to pass. But over here, I'm passing the variable. So I'll put variable name at variable was VERT. VERT. So this is the first parameter I've passed, vertical, comma. Now the second parameter, again, comma, open quotes. The second parameter I want to pass is ex-employee. So EXEMP is what is stored in the data extension. I can use any other name if I want. So I'm going to do param EMP. So PARAM EMP, open close quotes, comma, the value which is stored in a variable. So my variable, I believe, was called EMP, I think. Yeah, at EMP. Comma. Now the third parameter. So the third parameter is age. So param age, and now comma, the variable, the age variable is stored in, is called age, at age. And then finally my fourth parameter is salary. So param salary, comma, the variable which is storing salary is called at salary. So at salary. So these are my four parameters which I'm passing. If I want to pass more, I can pass more as well. No hard and fast rule. Once this is done, I close the extra bracket which I had created. So just a quick recap. Earlier it was Cloudpages URL, open bracket, page ID 114. I have modified that statement. I have put a redirect to, and then instead of Cloudpages URL 114 only, I have, after 114, I have added the parameters which I want to pass. Let's save it. So this is now modified. The button code, if you see again, it will be modified here. It's completely modified. Now, let's go back to the cloud page. Now, I'll have to make changes to the cloud page as well. Why? Because I'll need to write AMP script code to extract. I'm passing from the email, but obviously I'll need to extract on the cloud page. So I'll need to write AMP script code to extract. Let's try that. Now the fundamental is again the same. You put a HTML block right on top, and you can move AMP scripting over there. If you're doing block code, you put your blocks. If you don't want to do block code, you can do inline as well. So depends how you want to do it. HTML block going right on top. Come here. Now, I'm going to retrieve 4 parameters. So obviously I'll need 4 variables. So let's declare the variables. So my four parameters, I keep forgetting them. They were vertical, ex-employee, age, and salary. So I'll say at, and you can give any name again. If this variable name is the same as the one in the email, not a problem. It's not going to conflict. You can even keep the same variables. You want to change them, you can change them as well. So at vertical, at ex-employee, I'm just putting EX for this one. At salary, at SAL, at age, at three variables. Now again, I declared a variable. Now I need to set them. So set at vertical equal to. Now in this stage over here, what I'm going to do is the parameters will be passing and coming to the page. I want to write code to extract. Extraction code is very simple. It's not so long. It is called request parameter. Request parameter, open brackets, single quotes. Now for vertical, let's come back here. Sorry, here. Now for vertical, if you see, this is what I'm passing. Param vert, PARAMVERT. This is what is passing with the value of the vertical. So then I will be requesting this. So this is for vertical. I'm just a little lazy, so I'm going to copy this. Then for ex-employee, I am passing param EMP. Then for salary, that's at SAL. I am passing param salary. And finally, for age, I am passing param age. Oops. So this way I've got all the variables and their values. Now I can put them anywhere. If I want to put them here, yeah, we know how to do that as well. That's not new for all you guys. So I can say vertical we will use the simple v function, percentage equal to v and the variable name. Variable name is yeah, variable name is VERT. So I got vertical. Let's say are you an ex-employee? So that at UX. Then
No further questions.
Here one thing, after employee question mark, you have to add equal to sign, I guess.
Over here?
After question mark.
No,
Okay, thank
don't
you.
get confused with this equal to. I just put an equal to here, but you can have a colon also. The code
Okay.
is percentage equal to. There's no equal to before the percent,
Okay.
right? So don't get confused with that. Your age, again, the age, and then finally your salary. Mm, like I mentioned, save it and publish it. You need to do both. You can't just save it without publishing. It will not get the new code if you don't publish it. Okay, let's see if it works. A lot of code written, definitely possibility of an error. So let's see if it works. So now basically I'll be passing intern, true, 12 and 1000. Okay, so there you go. Vertical, as I said, intern, employee, true, age 12, salary 1000. So it's passed everything from the email, it dumped it over here. If I take the next person, uh, let's see, this is the next person. So if you see it's changed, right? So it's basically passed the fresh values of the next record from the data extension. So this is a simple exercise of passing parameters from an email to a cloud page. And like I mentioned, once you get the variables, then you can do whatever you want. You can do hide and show. You want to change this for X employees. You want to show this car for non-X employees. You want to show something else. You can do all that because once you have the variables with you, then then all the if-then conditions for next loops, everything is you can use. Whatever you've learned so far, you can use all those at your disposal. Any questions, guys? This is parameter passing from an email to a cloud page. I'll show you the code once again. It's quite simple. This is the code for the parameters, for passing the parameters. This one. I know it's quite small. What I'll do is I will make it a little big. Basically, this is how the code is. Yeah, so this is how it is. So redirect to cloud pages URL, page ID, and then all the parameter name, variable, parameter name, variable, parameter name, variable, parameter name, variable. Like I mentioned, if you want to hard code something, right? It's not difficult to hard code. For example, I'll pass one more parameter. Let's say I am passing just to show you how to hard code a parameter. I'm passing, I'll call it hard code for now so that we know what it is. Comma. Let me pass this as a parameter. Right. Obviously, cloud page will need to have a change. I will add one more variable. Let's copy this. Hard code, okay. So if you want to send hard-coded values, if there's a particular requirement to do that, no need to put it in a variable. You can just push it like I just pushed it like this. In a double quote, you can just push it. It will come. Okay. Why did I lose my button? Okay, this is interesting. I just lost my button. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's weird. I don't know why, but I lost my button and now it's just reset to a different button. Okay, then. Okay, I have no idea what happened just now, but I kind of lost my button. But yeah, I hope you get the gist, right? So basically, it's all about you know, if I want to hard code it, I just put hard coded values. Oh, it's come now. Oh no, it won't. Yeah, it's not. I don't know what happened to the button. I have no clue. But yeah. Or wait, I do have the code, right? Yeah. I know. Use it again. Something wrong. There's something wrong with my button. I have no idea what happened just now. Yeah. This is so weird. This is so weird. Okay. Last try. Ah, here is a problem. I will have to recode it, but yeah, I hope you guys understood the gist. You just push the hard coded values, and it will automatically publish it for you. There is something wrong with my, it's messed it up basically somehow, but yeah, I hope you guys understand the gist. So this is passing parameters from one page, from an email to a cloud page. Now there is also a fundamental of creating forms on a cloud page. All those who have done, who worked on web operations and things like that, those projects in the past, I'm sure you may have got a request to create landing pages with forms. On forms, people can, enter some data, and that data gets captured, things like that. So that is one important feature which we can do in Cloud Pages as well. Now there are two ways to use forms. One way is the traditional way, using HTML. There is a HTML code called form, and traditionally you can build forms like that. It's a long manual method where you have to actually uh, code the different things you want to see in the form. Like you want the person to fill up his age, you want the person to fill up his designation, his company name. Then you also have to put in the type of data he's going to fill up. Is it going to be a text? Is it going to be a drop down? Is it going to be a radio button, a checkbox? So that is all controlled using the form tag, which is an HTML tag. All those who have done web will be quite familiar with the form tag. For people who want to know more about it, you can just Google HTML form tag and you will see the code. I will also show you a small code. Marketing Cloud goes one step ahead. It has something called Smartcapture. So let's look at that. Now, Smartcapture is quite interesting. It can help you do surveys. Basically, it can do things where you want a person to fill up a form, and then whatever he's filling up, when he clicks the submit button, if you want that saved into a data extension, you can use Smartcapture. How do you do that? It's quite nice. So let's say now prerequisites of Smartcapture. You need a data extension because obviously it says capture, right? So if it's going to capture, it needs to put it somewhere. That somewhere is a data extension. So prerequisite is you need to have a data extension. So let's quickly build one. I'm just going to build a very simple data extension. No rocket science here. I'll make it sendable, testable. What do I want in it? I want customer ID, which is a text. That's fine. I'll keep that as a key. I want email address, which I want as an email. I'm not going to keep it as a key, but I can keep it as a key. That's not a problem. And then I'm going to make the guy fill up some stuff, right? So I'm going to say were you, so let's say satisfaction. Let's say it's a score. Okay, so let's say it's a number for satisfaction, and let's take one more feedback, which is text. Maybe the guy will write more, so long text. Let's just use this and let's have like two values. Let's just add two records to it for now. Obviously, what I want to do is, this is my data extension. I don't have anything in satisfaction scores and feedback. I just have the customer ID, I have email address, and then I'm going to send them an email. When they get the email, they click on a link, it opens a cloud page, and then they can fill up the satisfaction score and feedback. When they submit it, it automatically updates this data extension with the updated values of satisfaction scores and feedback. A simple use case on how to do surveys. So let's say we're going to do it that way. Now, what I need is a Smartcapture form. So let's take a Smartcapture form. This is this area where you can find your Smartcapture form. Take it, drop it. Now, it needs a few things. Now, just pay attention over here, which says use in Journey Builder. Now, I know I've not yet taught you Journey Builder. Journey Builder will mostly happen day after tomorrow. But basically, Journey Builder is used to create your campaign sequences, which email needs to go at what time, when to start, when to end, which person to take, which person should get an email. So that is all programmed in a journey. We'll be doing it at length, mostly day after tomorrow. But this setting is quite important. So just pay attention to this setting. If you check this checkbox, if you check it, so what's going to happen is you can use this Smartcapture like something like an autoresponder. Now, all those people who don't know what an autoresponder is, basically when you have a form, right? A form normally is available on your website. People who have queries or who want to ask questions, they can come and fill up a form and they submit it. Normally when they submit the form, and you also must have done it many times, you will get an email saying, thank you for your submission. We've received your question and we'll get back to you soon. Normally an auto email comes to you. This email is not sent manually by anybody. It's sent automatically. It happens automatically once the form is completely filled up. So these are called autoresponders. So if you want to do something like an autoresponder, then you need to keep this checked. And when you keep this checked, what's going to happen is when I show you Journey Builder, you will actually see an option to trigger that journey once the form is filled up. If you keep this unchecked, that option will not be available, at least for this form or for this Smartcapture form. So for now, I'm going to keep it on. We'll have to give a name for this form. So for now, I'm just keeping it on. When we do Journey Builder, then we'll go back and see this. Now, a form has two types of attributes: visible attributes and invisible attributes. As the word suggests, visible attributes are those attributes which a person can see on the page or on the form, which ideally he would need to fill up. Invisible attributes are those attributes which the person cannot see. So if he cannot see, obviously cannot fill it up. But they are important attributes. Why are they important? Now, first let me select the visible or invisible attributes and then I'll explain why. So visible attributes. Now I want the guy to update. First of all, I need to select the data extension. So by default, it will give you a data extension, but you can actually go ahead and select the one which you created. So I just created one. This one. These are the attributes, if you remember. Now I want the guy to fill up satisfaction and I want the guy to type me some feedback. These two things I want. So I've selected these two things. Hidden attributes. Now hidden attributes, I'm going to select cust ID. This one, I don't need anything else is hidden. Now, why do I need this? Remember, I told you it's a Smartcapture form. I need to fill up values here. When I click on submit, it needs to update the data extension. So for it to update the data extension, it needs to know which record to update, right? How does it know which record to update? It knows which record to update by either the email address or the customer ID, because these are going to be the unique values of that data extension. So that's why we just did parameter passing some time back. Ideally, what I'm going to do is from that email, where the person will get the link to fill up the survey form, when he clicks on the button to open the cloud page, I will pass the customer ID in this case as a parameter. This customer ID will come here on this cloud page. And then that customer ID, I will store it in a variable. And that variable, I will refer it over here. I'll put a reference here. So what's going to happen is this form has satisfaction score, which the person will type, feedback, which the person will type. And it also has the customer ID. Though it's hidden, it's there. It's already there. So when the person clicks on submit, it will automatically reference the customer ID and it will update the data extension. If I don't pass the customer ID, it will not know which record to update and it will fail. I mean, it will go through, but nothing will get saved. So that is the main reason why I need to have a customer ID. I need to keep it hidden because there's no point showing the customer ID. He's not going to understand what that is anyways. And also what's important is I need to pass the customer ID from the email to the Smartcapture form. Again, I'm reminding you guys, there's no data extension connected to a cloud page. The only way you can do such things is by passing a reference. So I'm passing a parameter from the email to this cloud page, and that parameter this time will be the customer ID. And whatever that value of customer ID, when I extract it on this cloud page, whatever that value is, the V value, that I will put over here. That's what I'm going to be doing shortly. Now, yeah, this is this thing, my form here. I filled up all this so far. I go to submit options. What do you want to do after the person clicks the submit button? I'm saying thank you for your submission by default, or I can type any other message if required. If you want the person to go to another page, then I can use this option where another page will open. But if you don't want the person to go another page and it should just give this message, then I don't need to select this. I can play around with the button if required. Form styling and all is all about styles, alignment and stuff like that. You can play around with that if needed. HTML editor. Now, in this case, to be honest with you, if you look at the HTML, it is going to be very confusing because this is all these are all function calls and classes over here. So we won't be able to make many changes over here. In future, if you want to change the type, now these are text boxes. If you see, if you want to change them, you can actually click once and then click again. Now, if you see over here, I can make some changes. I can change the field type. Obviously, it will be text because my data extension is text. But I can change it. I can change the name. Instead of satis, which has come from the data extension, I can say satisfaction score. I can make this a required field because I want the person to type. I can do that. So these are some options which are available. Now let's quickly look at the email, right? So now let's quickly build a new email. It's going in the wrong folder. Time to change the folder. Okay, so very simple email, just a button. I'm not putting anything right now. I'll just put a button which will take me to the cloud page. But before that, I would need to do some AMP scripting. Why do I need to do AMP scripting? Again, just a reminder, parameter passing, right? I want to pass the customer ID, then the person clicks the button. So I need to store it in a variable. That's why I need to do some AMP scripting. Var at customer ID set at equal to my customer ID is going to be called this CUST underscore ID. Now, now the programming this button. Now, right now, if you notice, my cloud page is not saved, nor is it published. So obviously, I don't have the page ID. But that doesn't stop me. I can still work. So I'll just go. I'll just select any cloud page. Right? Anyone. I can just select anyone for now. And why I'm doing it is because I need to finish my coding, right? I've not yet finished my coding. If you remember, I just showed you percentage equal to redirect to cloud pages URL. I'm going to keep the same ID. I know it's a wrong one, but that's okay. It doesn't affect us right now. I'm passing only customer ID. So I'm going to call it cust. And the variable is stored as cust. All right. Now, okay. Sorry, I will come. Awesome. Now, let's finish this page also. So put some HTML here for my AMP scripting. Remember, I need a variable to extract the customer ID. So I'm just going to call it cust for now. So simplicity, set at cust to again recollect. It is request parameter. And then the name which I've given my email for parameter passing. Obviously, I've forgotten. So the name was cust, C-U-S-T. Now this variable will store the customer ID which is coming from the email. So at cust. Now that I'm going to put here. Now when I do this, what happens is whatever variable it's extracting from the email, which has come from the email, which is the customer ID, I'm hard coding it actually here in the Smartcapture form itself. So basically assume the form, there are three fields: customer ID, satisfaction score, and feedback. Customer ID obviously is hidden, so customer can't do anything with that. So he cannot type anything in that. But what I've done is I have physically typed the actual customer ID, which is already in the data extension. and then satisfaction score and feedback the person can type. Now, when he clicks on submit, what's going to happen is Smartcapture will check for the customer ID. It will check the data extension. If the customer ID exists in the data extension, it will just update the satisfaction score and the feedback automatically to the data extension. That is what I wanted to do. Save. Publish it. Now, one more thing left. I need the page ID. So it's this one. I need to get the page ID. Page ID is 115, which I will add over here now. Okay, let's see if it works. It's a wrong data extension. That's why it's giving the error. Let's connect the correct one. I normally don't use Smartcaptures too often, so I hope it works. That's all I can say. So I'm picking up the first record. Remember, these are all blank, right? Nobody's populated it. Picking up the first record. Click on this. Now I will say score is 5. Feedback, it was okay. Submit. Remember, we had said over there, thank you for your submission. So it's come over here. Let's refresh this. Remember, it's for the first record. Let's refresh this and see if it's actually working. Okay. It's still not refreshed. There you see. So it has automatically written back to the data extension. And please remember, it's only done it because it had a reference of the customer ID. If you don't pass customer ID, it's not going to update because it will not know what to update. Now, the advantage of this is that now remember, it is, you see it is 5 and it was okay. The advantage is that if I come back here, and I change this to 7, and I don't change the feed. Yeah, I put the feedback as, it's going to update the data extension. So it'll automatically keep updating the data extension based on the customer ID. I go to the second record, for example. If I give a very bad score, come here, I refresh this. It updated, and then it added the new one also here. So in this way, you can use Smartcapture. Questions, confusions? This is a good use case for survey emails or survey, updating survey results, taking input from your customers, storing it in a data extension, and then using that data to do other things like personalized email targeting and stuff like that. So this is a good example of that. Questions, guys? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop for now. So what we did is Cloudpages. We did basic cloud page. We did passing parameters from email to cloud page. We did a Smartcapture where I passed parameters and then I updated a data extension. So this is with Cloudpages. Tomorrow, what we'll do is parameter passing between two cloud pages. So we did from email to cloud page, but there could be a requirement where you need to pass parameters from one cloud page to another cloud page. Methodology is different. Extraction on the second cloud page is the same, like how I did, using request parameter. So the extraction method is the same, but passing parameter method is different. So I'll show that to you tomorrow. So we'll be actually working on forms. So we'll create a simple HTML form, and whatever is in the form, we'll pass it to the second cloud page. So we'll do that tomorrow. Once that is done, then we can start working on content data extensions. Any questions, guys? All right, going to end today's session then. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Mihir.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.